Hey guys, welcome to a new video where I'm going to show you how to use HDR Media in Final Cut Pro. As usual, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to leave that thumbs up. You can also go check out other videos that I've made on Final Cut Pro, and if that's your thing, please consider subscribing. Alright, so first of all, what is a HDR Media? HDR stands for High Dynamic Range. What it means is when you're going to shoot an image, your camera is going to capture different exposures and blend them together in order for you to have access to as many details in your shadows and highlights as possible. For example, if you are in a situation where your environment, your surroundings are too dark or maybe too bright, using the HDR mode can come in pretty handy. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the HDR look. I'm more of a manual kind of guy. I like to have complete control over my exposure. And I edit all my images and footage, so I've just sticked with the SDR mode, which stands for Standard Dynamic Range. But if you're not editing your images or footage, the HDR mode can be pretty useful. So just quickly, I'm gonna show you how to turn it on and off on your phone. So I'm an iPhone user, so I'm not entirely sure how this works on other phones, but I'm assuming that it's pretty similar. On iPhone, to turn on or turn off the HDR mode, you simply have to go to Settings, go to your camera, scroll all the way down and turn on Smart HDR for your photos. And for your videos, you simply have to go to Record Video, scroll a little bit down and turn on HDR Video. Alright, now we're just gonna jump into Final Cut Pro and see how to use HDR Media in there. Now, we are in Final Cut Pro and I've created a new project and I'm gonna import a clip that I've shot using the HDR mode. So I'm just dragging this HDR clip in my timeline. And as you can see right now, there is a message coming from Final Cut Pro telling you that HDR Media doesn't display correctly when transcoded into H.264 proxy. I personally use proxy medias on all my videos because it speeds up Final Cut Pro. If you guys are ever interested in knowing how to speed up your Final Cut Pro software, I've made an entire video specifically about it. I'll have a link to that video in the description below or on the screen for you to click on. So to transcode this HDR clip into proxy, Final Cut Pro just tells me that it has to transcode the clip in ProRes proxy. So I can do that pressing OK. So now let's have a look at how Final Cut Pro transcodes this specific clip. So now you can see that it looks really bad. You know, everything is overexposed. Final Cut Pro isn't really dealing well with HDR Media, as you can see. So just to give you an idea, this is how the original clip straight out of camera looks like. This is the way it's been recording directly on my iPhone 12 mini using the HDR mode. So now to fix it in Final Cut Pro, we're gonna have to use a specific tool. And that tool is the HDR effect. To find this tool, you just have to go on the right here on your effect tab and go look for HDR. Then you can see you have the HDR tools effect. You can just drag it onto your clip. Now, as you can see, this effect corrected the exposure and colors of our clip, right? So basically what this effect does, it converts your HDR clip into a SDR clip. If you select your clip and open right here on the right your inspector and go to your effects right here, you can see that the HDR tools effect is applied. And right here on the mode, you can see that it has converted HDR to Rec 709 SDR. You can play around with the mix, you know. So if you go all the way back to 0, it's the way we had it before applying this specific effect. So I personally recommend not touching anything in there and just keeping the mix to 1. And now even with this tool and the mix all the way up to 1, you can see that your overall image ends up a little bit faded in my opinion. But you know, you can always fix that by color grading your footage, right? And that's what I'm gonna quickly do right now. Alright, so that was pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now you guys have a good one and I'll talk to you in the next video.